Hey everybody, Brad here, aka the Bread Maker. I wanted to come at you with a video today to break down my trades from last week. It was a really good week. I ended up with a 100% win rate, won every single trade that I took. I wanted to go a little bit deeper into the strategy that I'm using, how I'm using it. It's a super simple strategy. I think even people that don't really know much about trading can understand it because of how easy it is to utilize. So I wanted to break this down a little bit more in detail with you while also breaking down the 4 trades that I took, why I took them, give you a little bit behind the scenes of my thought process through them, as well as how the strategy works on the chart and what my mindset is kind of going through a trade and trying to identify the best trade opportunities to get into on a day-to-day basis. So far I've had extreme success with this strategy. This is my own custom strategy called Daybreak Delta. I've been trading it for about 3 weeks now. Right now I have taken 17 trades. I have 15 wins and 2 losses. Like I said, this week I went 4 for 4. My account's up almost 60% since starting to trade this option strategy at the beginning of August. So been really awesome, really successful. I'm still kind of fine tuning it, still tweaking it, still trying to make it as good as it can be. And I'll kind of talk through a little bit more detail of that in this video as well. So let's just go ahead and jump in. We'll start, and like I said, I'll start breaking down the trades that I made and why I made them and how I executed them, as well as kind of breaking down the strategy a little bit more in depth. So let's go ahead and look at the chart here. So this is the Daybreak Delta strategy. This line right here just indicates the close of day of the market. And then this area right here is the start of the next market open. So my first trade of the week was on Nike. And this was a short position. And essentially how this works is you can see here, this is a red candle right here. And this is the start of the day. This is the opening bell of the market. And essentially what it does is it takes the first 30 minutes, which is the most highly volatile period within the stock market every single day. It's usually the highest volume, highest movement in the price. And what it does is it draws a line at the highest high and the lowest low within that first 30-minute period. And this is a trend-based strategy. So the way it works is essentially what you're trying to do is you're identifying the intraday trend by executing a trade. If it breaks the lowest low, you're going to short it, and if it breaks out of the highest high, you're going to go ahead and long. So on this trade in Nike right here, you can see it broke down and broke below the lowest low. So essentially, this is where you would take your trade. So the one thing you have to wait for and signify is you need this candle to close. This is on the 5-minute chart. So you need this candle to close below the line before you enter. If you see it's, obviously on this trade, obviously I could have potentially entered better, but most cases you want to wait for this candle to close to prevent a potential fake out of maybe it looking like it's going to close and then it goes back up and then price reverses and you're stuck in a short position. So you want to wait for this line to close or this candle to close below the line before you take your position. So I was able to enter here on this candle, and this is a short again on Nike. There's 3 pieces to this strategy. This is the chart piece. Then we built this really cool multi-asset signal tool, and this tool is extremely helpful because essentially, let's say you're using this strategy. While you can use it without this tool, you have no way. You're going to just have to cycle through stocks constantly, try and find which one has a setup, or you're going to have to set a ton of alerts up and have all these alerts triggering like crazy on your chart. The great thing about the multi-asset tool that we built here is this will automatically signal a short or a long entry point on the chart. On whatever chart I'm on. So I can be on whatever asset and I can get exposure to 20 or 30 different other assets. So I can be looking at one chart and see all these other ones. And if another one is set up for a trade, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to go ahead and take that. So as you can see here, here's Nike, NKE. It signaled a short. So I was able to go ahead and open the chart. Trade looked good. And, I was able to open this trade and execute it. And we got a pretty good follow through, obviously. One of the biggest things that I'm working on right now is just squeezing a little bit more profit out of my trades. You'll see on the other few trades that I had, I left a decent amount of profit on the table. Right now, I'm shooting for about 10 to 15% gains per trade, but there's quite a few that I've left, a good bit on the table for. So I'm just trying to work on a trailing stop method that will help squeeze out a little bit more profit on these trades. But Let's get to the third piece of this. Third piece is my own custom momentum indicator. This momentum indicator really identifies, highs and lows within the market of price movement and volume. So it basically takes price action and volume, kind of combines it and smooths it into one line and a moving average. And this is a huge piece of the signal as well, because what I like to see here is I like to see a divergence between the two. That's usually my main signal to buy, because some of these other assets here may be throwing up a short position, but maybe the momentum is down towards the bottom. So there's a possibility, it's signaling that there's a possibility that we may get a move to the upside. And that's what I don't want if I'm going to enter a short position. So my goal is to have a divergence where we're getting a breakdown signaling a short, and the signal here is showing basically that the condition is consistent, significantly overbought, and we're going to get a move to the downside. So it's kind of a double confirmation for me. It's confirming that there's a short ready for the trend, and at the same time, we're going to get a move to the downside. So this is the three-piece tandem that we have here. It's really a pretty easy strategy. Like I said, essentially, you're going to be looking at the signal, find a signal. Generally, you're going to want the numerical digit to be higher. The higher the number, the better signal for a short position. So we can actually go back here and replay this, and you'll see where it was on the exact candle that I bought. So let me go ahead and open up the replay, go back to this date, and you'll be able to get a better view of what I'm talking about. So on this candle, if we look on this candle that's about to break down, you can see that this level is trending downwards, but still pretty high. So it shows that there's a decent amount of movement still ready to be taken. And you can see here, as the price goes down, we get to an oversold condition here. But within that moment, I was able to capture well over 10% gains just from that initial drop. So overall, it's a pretty easy strategy to understand. Like I said, essentially you're looking at the signals here, and then you're identifying the breakdown of the candle, and then you're hoping for a divergence of the custom indicator here, and that's your main buy signal at that point in time, or sell signal depending on which direction you're going. And that's pretty much it. That's basically how the strategy works, and that's almost identical to how I've been trading it on every single one of my trades. There are some trades where I trade just momentum and I don't trade the breakout or breakdown, and I'm mainly trading off of this signal. But usually that's a case where maybe I missed an earlier signal on another asset or something like that. And we can see a good example of that on PFE here, which I'll show you. So PFE, this was a trade that I took, and as you can see, the momentum is down here. It's like stalled out big time, showing that the buyers are starting to take back over, and based off the volume and price action, and that we're going to see a potential upswing in price. So I was able to buy on this candle right here. We got a nice upswing, and I was in and out of this trade in like 10-15 minutes. The momentum ones are ones that I don't like to hold as long, because as you can see, they can stall out. I mean, we did get a nice continuation here, which would have been a bigger gain, but sometimes these can stall back out pretty quickly. So I like to be in and out of them pretty quickly. But the reason I didn't take this, as you can see, this would have been an ideal short, honestly. If I had shorted right here, I would have been in and out of this trade relatively quickly for nice gains. But what happened was, I was actually looking at a trade on Bank of America. I was trying to get in this Bank of America trade on this same day, and you can see right here. And what I ended up doing was, on this candle right here, I just set my limit order too high, and I missed the fill on it, and I didn't get the fill here either. And then we started dropping, and I was like, I didn't want to chase it at that point. It was already down, and I missed the opportunity to enter. So I kind of missed my opportunity here, and then I went over to PFE, because that was also signaling, but at that point it was down here, around here as well, and I missed my entry on that one too. So then I was just I almost got to a point where I was expecting myself not to trade today, because I missed my couple of opportunities to enter. But then I saw this momentum here. I saw it had dried up. I saw volume was starting to be more in favor of the bulls. So I went on a long call here, and it ended up working out. But these are the rare situations in where I may not trade this strategy exactly to a T. And it's usually in a scenario where I may have missed a potential entry, and that's why I wasn't able to take that trade. So that's an explanation of that trade on Tuesday. Moving to Wednesday, I actually took PFE again on Wednesday. This was another short. I opened on this green candle here, the second candle here. We got a little bit of sideways action for a couple of candles, and then we got the drop that I was looking for. Again, same strategy, essentially buying on the break of this candle. PFE at that point was still in a mid to high range on our momentum indicator, and we were, signaling a short condition here. So when we go back to this candle right here, well, actually we need to go to the next one, but you'll see, we'll pause it right there, and you can see a short condition triggered on PFE. The momentum indicator was at 54, and that was still high enough where I knew that there was going to be decent room available on this trade to continue riding it down further. And then, we got a couple sideways candles, and then boom, we got our drops, which was able to exit us out of that trade. So overall, another successful trade. And then my last trade, which was my best trade, but also worst trade in a way, was on Amazon. Best trade because, we got a straight down movement right after the breakdown. Worst trade because I left a ton on the table. This thing actually ended up doing almost 100% gains, and I exited for about 14%. So again, this is an area where I'm trying to still work on perfecting how I want to trail my stops best. In option land, it's a little bit challenging because of the way the orders work and the way option contracts move in price so violently. It's a little bit more challenging to perfect your trailing stops in the option land. But you can see here, if we want to go back and look at the breakdown of this again on the replay, the buy was on this candle, or the short, I guess, was here, or on the next candle, sorry. And you can see here, Amazon short indicator still had some, room left to go down, and that was the trigger entry right there. And then we got our continuation, and this thing dropped for a good while. There was a good bit of opportunity there to take on some additional gains. I basically exited about 134, and this thing dropped to about 132.80. So there was another dollar plus move in that trade that could have I could have taken place with. But either way, at the end of the day, I'm pretty happy with my overall results for the week. Like I said, 4 for 4, 100% win rate. This strategy is super easy. I can't wait to be able to share this out. I've talked about it on Twitter a good bit, but I've been kind of trying to perfect it and get it to a point where I feel like it's, ready and easily understandable for a user to be able to utilize it. So I'm excited to get a little bit closer to that point to, being able to share it with everybody. But I'll also bring this up. This shows my gains for the week. So you can see here that, my results are legitimate. You can see that staircase up throughout the whole week this week. My account was almost up 20%. Overall, I started this account with $1,000 balance about 3 weeks ago, and I'm close to 60%. Hope next week I'm going to be on vacation middle of the week and after. So I'm hoping Monday and Tuesday I can get a couple of trades in, maybe get this account up over 60% before I close out the week. But looking forward to continued movement from there. And then I also have my Trader Sync. I definitely recommend this tool if you're looking to log your trades. I log every single one of my trades through this tool. You can see all my wins and losses here. You can see my entries, exits, dates, all that stuff. I also have the setups that I traded here. And you can see all my wins and losses. As you can see here, I've had 15 wins, 2 losses, overall at an 88% win rate. Accounts up over 53% since I started. So, overall, it's been really successful. I'm definitely looking forward to, continued success with the strategy. I'm definitely looking forward to help teach this strategy. I think it's very easy for the average trader or even beginner to learn and understand how to trade. So, definitely continue to follow, continue to engage, continue to ask questions. I'll be sharing more details as we go along, and hopefully we'll all be able to trade as a community together with this strategy. And goal is to all be profitable and make money, month over month. So again, appreciate everybody's support, and follow me on this journey. And again, if you have any questions or want any additional information, feel free to comment here. You can find me on Twitter, join our Discord, any of those places you can catch me and ask me any questions. So thanks a lot. Catch you guys on the next one. Have a good weekend.